Okay, so the reason I wanted to make this live stream happen was I always wanted to try to do like a tier list style video because I'm a huge fan of iceberg style videos online, as well as like the tier list style contents. In a way, like I feel like tier list kind of like sums up the general like aspects of it quite well, and then just like ranks it based on subjective opinion, of course. So disclaimer, every tools you see here is my subjective opinion because I have not used like all of the tools, right? I only used a handful of them that is normal in our company, or some of them when I was starting out in resin printing. I also read a lot of things on the internet. I asked some of our boys in the lab, and then they give me some guidance on some of the tools. So S tier in this case is the game changer. This tool is like a game changer. It actually improves your workflow, and that is definitely something you need to keep in mind. It's basically you need it in your workflow, right? Extremely useful and good to have. Yes, extremely useful is, yes, it's probably pretty easy. It's pretty useful to have, very useful to have. You need to own it. It's not like huge game changer, but it takes you up there, you know. Good to have, of course, and situationally useful. So there are some tools here that people might just say, hey, that is definitely an S tier. But my argument here is, yes, it is great to have. Like, it's actually a game changer for those who need it. Like actually, it's a game changer for people who actually need the tool. So in my opinion, but majority of the people may not like the tool, or they actually don't need it. Some basic tools are better for them than these kind of tools. So that's why it's situationally useful. Not that the tool is bad, it's just in very situation that for that person it's S tier, right? Next is the works but too much hassle. You can kind of understand, like yeah, it does its job, but there's better things out there, and it's just too much energy and effort to work on these kind of things. And lastly, just don't, which is we call it the F tier. Yes. So just don't is like, it's better not to do it, it's better not to have it, just move on. There are cheaper options, or even you pay $5 extra and you can like, it's much better to have than using this method, right? So I divided it into 5 categories, basically. So 5 categories are wash, drying, cure, then the support removal, and then the surface of the model. So there are 5 levels I managed to categorize these tools on, and then we can rank together. So let's talk about a wash station. So this is not wash station in general, because this is a whole methodology, because there's multiple ways to utilize wash station with other tools to create the best washed models if you combine it with other methods. But if you just do it one time, just by itself, if it's just a single wash station and you put a model there and you wash it, personally I think it's not good enough to clean it, because sometimes you reuse the alcohol many times. It's hard to keep changing the alcohol. It's not friendly for your budget, so the alcohol will eventually get dirty. And once it gets dirty, it's really hard to just rely on one wash station for the process, right? Oh, Derek says you asked Reddit. No, I did not ask Reddit. I just look at some comments on Reddit because I don't know all the tools. So, like, you know, but sure. Oh, come on, man. Reddit isn't that bad. Reddit's my home, except it's a place where, you know, there are a lot of gatekeepings happen. I can agree with that. So, wash station. I'll just put a single wash station, by the way, not wash station in general, just single wash station. As for cleaning method, I'll put it as good to have, because you need to combine this with other tools or methodologies to be able to fully wash your model. But just by itself, I don't think it's like, oh, extremely useful or game changer level. It is a game changer as a concept, but It's not by itself. You need some little bit of more tool to fully wash your model. So I have 4 wash stations. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about, you know? Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the second one, ultrasonic cleaner. So I actually am curious what people think about ultrasonic cleaner. I have seen some of our dental guys use it. I have seen some of the people in our company use it here and there. So my input on this device is basically ultrasonic wash cleaner. It just vibrates very strongly, and then on the surface of the model, it cleans it pretty well. Not pretty well, amazingly well. Like if it's non-hollowed model and you put it in an ultrasonic wash station, it's definitely gonna clean it better than just a simple wash station, in my opinion. But with this comes with 2 weaknesses. Basically, there are 2 weaknesses that comes with it. So, weakness number, I'm not sure it's a weakness, but yeah. Weakness number 1 is hollowed models. Wash station, since it's swirling around, it can go inside the model and wash the inside of the model quite decently. Meanwhile, the vibration of the ultrasonic cleaner can hit the surface of it, but the inside of the model, from what I heard, is not fully well cleaned. So it's basically recommended for people who are using a non-hollowed model. That's one. And second is, I think it's the size. It's the size, yes. Also large prints, yes. Large prints and size, large prints, it doesn't work that well as the size of the wash station is pretty small. And if you want a bigger wash station, like bigger ultrasonic cleaner, it's gonna burn through your wallet quite well, quite fast. So I think with that, it is very specifically for people who are printing something solid and something small, like dentists or miniatures maybe. But even miniatures, if you have like a very tiny model with very high little like spear or something, there is a chance that might even break that because of the vibration. The heat of the ultrasonic wash is, you never use heat with ultrasonic wash because it has alcohol in it. If it has alcohol in it, do not use the heat, because any heat that gets close to alcohol is kind of like a danger. So I or even we as a company, we cannot recommend that. I have ultrasonic, but I use the alcohol bag method to save on alcohol. Yeah, I heard some people do that. It's just people put water in the ultrasonic wash, put alcohol bag in the model, and then just close it and put it in the ultrasonic wash. I guess it could work, but I think you just don't need to even turn on the heat with that, right? Just don't turn on the heat. It's still gonna do the same thing. Not good enough for large prints. Yeah, I agree on that. So I think it's very situational. So I'm gonna put the ultrasonic wash on situationally useful. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Wash station with alcohol spray. So if you guys watch Frozen's short videos, right? If you guys watch Frozen short videos, we always use the spray to clean the model. So we do a 1 wash, and then if there's a little leftover residue or something, we just spray alcohol on it. The alcohol has a little bit of the pressure, and it hits the surface of the model and then eventually cleans it. It's definitely better than a single wash. The only downside could be that it can kind of get messy. If you don't have like a big open space to do this kind of stuff, like spraying the alcohol, it can spray everywhere, right? Like I would say this tool is definitely not a game changer level, but it's definitely extremely useful. If you have the space to do it, I would suggest, yeah, try it out. It does save on alcohol. You can you can have one of those containers or something. You can spray the model on it like that. It cleans, and you can also clean the insides of the model with it as well, quite well actually. Yeah, it can just get a bit messy. Like when you're spraying alcohol on the model, like alcohol can go through everywhere. The smell is also very intense. So I will put extremely useful on the spray. Next one. Okay, this one is, it may look weird. So this is the jar swirl method. So the jar swirl method is basically how I call, not to be rude, it's like the beginner stuff, right? When you invested money in the resin printing, but you didn't think of the other cost kind of area, right? So the swirl method works, but first of all, it does not work on bigger model. You need like a bigger jar to swirl it in. You still need to put a lot of alcohol in there. And when you're swirling, you also need to be careful because, you know, too strong, you might break the model. And it's just too much hassle to try, right? So I'm gonna put the jar swirl method on. It works because when I first started out in resin printing, it did work. It used to work, and but once I discovered the magic of wash station, it's definitely too much hassle for me. It works, but it's a bit too much hassle to try. Yeah, Derek says, I agree, the jar and swirl is noob level, okay. Yeah, it's the journey, you know, it's the beginning of the journey. You are there, you did not think you need all of this, you probably look for a budget way to get into 3D printing. You purchase maybe the cheapest, the smallest printer out there, and you end up resin, and you're like, okay, that's it, right? And then that's when you find out you need to wash, you need to cure, then you realize it's out of your budget, so you're starting to think, oh God. So what's the budget way out there? And someone on the internet says swirl it or use the sun to cure it, all of those good things, yeah. Next one is the brush method, actually. So this is basically a wash station, but combined with a brush. So you have a very light brush, and you brush the surface of the model. If you see a residue, just lightly brush the surface of the model. It does its job, but for the inside, you probably need to go a bit deeper. Sometimes the inside of the model can curve, so brushing is not the easiest. I used to use plastic boxes to swirl, but this was pretty inconsistent and messy. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I also used to swirl. It was definitely one of those reasons I really hated resin printing in the beginning. You know, it's just like I have a jar. Yeah, I have a jar, you put a model in, you swirl it around, then you look at the mirror, and then you start to wonder. So I definitely think it's not the best method, but I heard it can work. I have used it and I have cleaned it pretty well as well, but it's just too much hassle. Yeah, moving on the brush one, I would say it's same level as the spray. It's less like dirty or something, but yeah, you can just clean the surface of the model with a light brush. It works. It doesn't consume as much alcohol as the spray, but I wouldn't say it's like a game changer. I think it's definitely extremely useful. So if you have a spray or if you have a brush, you can go wrong with either way, right? Okay, so guys, this is where now the things are about to get interesting. 2 wash station versus 3 wash station. What do you guys know? What do you guys think? So people says I use 3 was a game changer. Clean, dirty, then ultrasonic. Yeah, actually, I heard people do use ultrasonic for like one of the aspects of washing. Yes, I guess, yeah, if that's the case, maybe there should be a different combinations I could put here, but I think this for now is good enough. So I think, yeah, I agree with you guys. I think 2 wash station is not enough to fully clean. Not enough to fully clean, but it does much better than most of this here, except the spray and the brush is already good, so I'm gonna put this in here on the extremely useful. And I think the 3 wash method can become a game changer. If you can, you know, if you have enough space, that is. If you don't have enough space, then using the spray as well as the brush will have to do. You know, you kind of have to live with it. Meanwhile, Derek is going even crazier. Derek, how? Last time I talked to you, you had 3 wash station. 3, man, and you were saying it's amazing. How come you have 4 now? How is that possible? I feel like next year, if I talk to you, you're gonna be like, yeah, five wash station. Okay, maybe I should put like wash station infinite on this tier list, like the infinite wash station, like where the model itself will just turn into a dust, right? Yeah. Brian says, clean, dirty, then ultrasonic. Nah, it has to be dirty, clean, then ultrasonic, right? Yeah. The more the merrier. Of course. Derek has buckets everywhere. Yeah, I think this man has actually upped his, like he's in a different dimension, you know. We like us like we're like the peasants, you know, like we are just the peasants just down there, like going with our 2-3 wash station. Derek out there is like playing 40 chess with himself and his number of wash stations. Okay, so this has been the wash station. And last one, if you guys are wondering, this is something, okay, weirdly, this is something I found on Reddit. Magnet stir. Yeah, magnet stir. I have never heard anyone use it, but I have read somewhere on the Reddit that there were numerous people that were recommending magnet stir. It's this, it's basically like you know, the science beaker. There is this swirling little like a magnet, like a metallic thing on it, and you put it on this device and then it uses magnets to like swirl it around. Yeah. Seems like some people also prefer to use that. They say it's not too expensive, but from what I can understand, they're very small. So I think magnet stir is just pushing it a bit. Maybe if you guys have magnet stirrers, you guys can let me know in the comments right now, because I would love to hear what you guys think about the magnet stirrer, if you guys have heard of this before. Not necessarily. Does every wash station work like that though? Because I know we have this device called Wash Plus. Isn't that how it works? But people were using I guess the concept is the same. But people were using the very specifically lab beaker magnet stirrer to wash it. So I was just confused then why just not get the wash station, right, at this point? Wash bucket impeller has magnets. Oh yeah, that's true. I know Wash Plus has it. We have Wash Plus, and when I was looking through that, I know. But the wash station, I never understood the concept too much, because our company wash stations are very, very dirty. So I didn't touch or see it or like that. I just put it in and wash it. So is it the same concept? If it is, then it's basically like, then just have the wash station. It's much better. So then I'll put it's only expensive if it doesn't work. That's true. That is true. I think then if the concept is the same, I can put the magnet stirrer as in just don't. Yeah, just get the wash stations or even the sonic ultrasonic cleaner. If you have a stages of wash, maybe like Brian said, put the ultrasonic cleaner on stage 3. Yeah, but basically the game changer here, I think we can agree that it uses the 3 wash stations or even more. And obviously the legend would be 4 or 5 or even infinite, right? Right, Derek? I see. So Derek is explaining, yeah, but the beaker uses like a jelly bean. Yeah, exactly. That spins where it's not going to pull up as much as, sticks to the bottom as a big propeller system. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was talking about the weird bean thing. So I feel like the wash station maybe has a similar concept, but yeah, it's a bit different. The more stations, less time in each true, right? You want a certain amount of time in IPA, yeah. So the beaker belongs in just get a wash station. Yeah, Luther, yeah. Basically, put the beaker in the downstairs, just don't. Okay, and last one we can discuss is the Wash Mega. So Wash Mega, this one is just not washing methodology, it's just washing station by itself. So I already know my mind on this, I'm just gonna put it on situationally useful because it's 26 liter? It's a giant wash station. It's a giant wash station. If majority of you guys are using Mini or Mighty probably, so it's probably not the best. It's very useful. It's a game changer. If you are a business owner, like a 3D farm owner, or you guys are printing on Mega. So if you are one of those, this thing's a game changer for you. But majority of the people are not. So for me, I will just put it on as situationally useful as the Wash Mega S. There we go. So this has been the wash part. So it's gonna get faster from here. I just put too many methodologies of washing. So next one, let's go into drying. So there are a few ways to dry a model. One is the hair dryer. For me, hair dryer, when I was starting out in the resin printing, I have used to use hair dryer to dry my models before. But at the same time, first of all, I think maybe it depends on the hair dryer. What I had wasn't the worst one, but it was not the best one. So it was like a mid-tier hair dryer. And when I was like trying to dry the stuff, I'll be honest with you, it was really frustrating for me. But I think it still dried faster than majority of the things you like people have. So I'm just gonna put hair dryer on like maybe either good to have or extremely useful. But it was still pretty long if I remember. Maybe it depends on the quality of the hair dryer. I think it either has to be good to have or extremely useful. Let's just put it on good to have for now and let's see what you guys think. So next one is the paper towel or any tissue, something like that to dry. I already know my answer on this one. This one is basically just don't. It's just better not to use it, sorry. It's like, I've used it actually. The fibers and dirt get stuck on the model. The crevices like armpits or something like that, it's very hard to clean, very hard to dry. It's just not worth it. Air dry is better than that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put this as just don't. For me, the tissue is like just don't. But if you guys do dry with tissues, like actually dry like this, not put it on the tissue and wait for it to dry, let me know. So next one is the compressed air. So this is like a air dryer. Sorry, it's called the air gun that's connected to a air tank, right? Compressed air connected to an air tank. This is definitely a game changer. Ever since we discovered this, our drying game has been to the roofs. We have never dried faster. It dries within a minute or two, like entirely. And if it's a large mug, like maybe 5 minutes, but it's really fast. It's like super fast. The only downside is it can get messy, like the alcohol or something like that can like spread around, or it can get a bit noisy as well. So noise and other than noise and kind of messiness, this tool is a game changer, definitely. Yeah. So when I said the hair dryer, I mean hair dryer and the heat gun. It has kind of the similar ways, right? Because the heat gun and hair dryer, they both can blow cold air, and they can both can use hot air. Heat gun can do even hotter, but yeah, it's kind of the similar concept. But okay, fine, Luther, you convinced me. But it's just that the hair dryer, I used to use it. That's why it's painful for me. I'm like, I can't put it on extremely useful. Okay, maybe, okay, fine. The hair dryer is not messy, but it's just about like the best way to dry, right? If it's just the best way or fastest way to dry, I think it's the compressed air is better. Okay. I think I can put hair dryer and heat gun, by the way, which also has like a cool air function. Okay, I think I can put that up there on extremely useful category. I think it depends on the quality of your hair dryer as well. I think it depends on the quality of your hair dryer as well. And yeah. So some of you guys are saying the airbrush, right? Yes. So airbrush, I feel like I put it here, but I don't see it right now. I don't know why. Maybe I took it out for some reason. So basically, airbrush is also game changer tier. So let's just put compressed air gun and airbrush on the same. But airbrush is more precise. It's less messy. I agree. And it can dry insides of models. Both of them can dry insides of the model really well. So I'm gonna put the air gun and as well as the airbrush, both of them on S game changer tier. Yeah. I just leave them under the sun. What? If they were clean, probably drying shouldn't be an issue. I mean, yes, but you want to dry and cure, right? But cure and dry happening together is a bit... I've seen people try it on Reddit, but like everyone's like, bro, just try it first and then cure it. Paper will stick to the print and it will get into your wash and get stuck on your prints. Yes, don't use paper towel. Put that on, just don't. Yeah, no paper drying. IPA evaporates really fast. Well, yes, but if it's inside of the model, like that kind of stuff, I think it's still kind of like you need a lot of time to fully dry it, I think, if it's a hollow model. Okay, so I think we can move on to air. So air, just drying it is, I'm not against that. If you have patience for it, it's good. I think it can dry the model pretty well, just if you have the patience, or if you can just like leave it on the shelf, like for it to dry, I think it can do, but it's not obviously extremely useful level. It's just situationally, or probably it just works by hassle, in my opinion, because I think it's just on the patience level, but this is subjective, very subjective. If you have the patience, it's probably good to have, extremely useful, but for me, it's just, it works by hassle. I don't have the patience, man. So let's move, and last one on the drying list is the Cure Station Dry. This is the Cure Station Dry. So Cure Station Dry is definitely better than air because it just dries in 30 minutes and then continues to cure it, so it's convenient. The only downside for me, I feel like, is the hollowed models. If it's an inside of the model, drying can become harder, so I think you actually probably, it's either to use the air compressor gun to fully dry the inside. For me, the Cure Station Dry, the inside of the model can be messier. So I think Cure Station Dry, since you already have a Cure Station, I think it's just good to have. As I said before, hair dryer, I think it just depends on the quality. If it's a really good hair dryer, that thing can just blast air, right? And if it's a mid quality, probably it's not. It takes long. For me, it took a very long time to dry using hair dryer, and mine wasn't even cheap. It was like a mid tier, I would say. Okay then, let's move on to the Cure. Sun Cure. Okay guys, come on. It has to be works, but too much hassle, or just don't, right? Yeah, right? Because I have left my model in the sun before. It doesn't evenly cure. You need to cure it for 2 days. You need you need to face the sun in the one direction, and the next day you turn it around for the other direction to cure. And sometimes it depends, because sometimes it's sunny days, sometimes it's cloudy days, so the UV light is not as strong, yeah. Consistency is bad. So I'm sorry if you guys love the sun. I love the sun, man, but not as a cure. just don't tear, yeah. So next one is the Cure Station. Just the Cure Station. I think this is pretty obvious. Just put it as game changer. You will just use Cure Station. If you have a Cure Station, just use that. It's a game changer. for everything. Just having one cure for some. Apparently, some people likes 5-minute cure, some people likes 30-minute cure. Our company recommends 30-minute cure, but it doesn't consume much time. It's consistent. It's quite, yeah, it's a wonderful machine. So just get one of those cure stations. Next one, DIY cure stations. So if you've been into 3D resin printing for a while, maybe you heard about DIY. So some people buy like a box and then they put like a LED with the light wavelength in there, and then like a roller, aluminum foil. Yeah, there is a DIY option out there, but one thing is, I think you need to collect a lot of materials, so you need to put in the effort to do it. And second, I have a colleague who have done their DIY. He says it gets too hot. So it's cheap, but I don't know, I don't think Cure Station is like way out of the budget level. No, it's not. So I think DIY can save money, but I think it's kind of a hassle. But also it depends. Some people can build like crazy good DIY cure stations, and some people can just create like, you know, inconsistent because the material they got it from Amazon was kind of sketchy, it may not work, you know. So it's very inconsistent. Or and it might break, and it could be potentially dangerous too. It's not worth the hassle, but it's just situationally useful. The situationally useful is if you have I don't know, for some reason, if you have a super large print that does not fit in your cure station. If that's the case, yeah, probably building one is probably your only choice out there. So I can put it as situationally useful. There can be a situation. I only use the DIY for large models that don't fit in the cure station, mainly anything coming off my Mega. Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah. So it's situationally useful because in some situation, it depends on the person's needs, right? And if there's no, if there's a need for a super large cure station, and current ones do not cover, then you guys have to go DIY, yeah. And next one. UV curing lamp. UV curing lamp, it's just, it's just some people say they use it, but I just don't know why. It's just better to have a cure station, right? So yeah, just lamp is it's not useful. It's not good to have. It's just probably better to have one. So it's just it works too much hassle because you need to. It still works. It's not hassle. Maybe there's a situation, I'm not sure. I don't want to put it as just don't, because it probably has use for it because people do use it. Okay, last one is the large cure station. This is also same as Mega, Wash Mega, situationally useful. Like literally 90% of the people using Mighty or Mini, they don't need Mega unless they have a print farm business. So if it's a print farm business, or if it's if you're printing something really large, just get those. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about support removal. First one is the flush cutters. So flush cutters are one of those, for me, it has two uses. Flush cutters can, sometimes removing support is hard, so you want to break the raft. So the flush cutters can break the raft easily. So for you guys to easily remove the supports, then just heat it, right? That's one. The second is, once you remove the big supports, there are sometimes when you remove the supports from the surface, there will be some, I've seen on the larger prints, there are some larger support leftovers there, I guess you could call it, and the flush cutters can just tear it through easily. The only downside is on the surface of the model, it might damage the surface of the model. I think that is it, but flush cutter is definitely something to have. Not sure if it's a game changer level, but it's at least extremely useful. Yeah, it's definitely at least extremely useful for flush cutters, for support removal. Sonic Saber. So Sonic Saber, let me see if I have it here. So let me just go into the bag of stuff that I stole from the boys at the printing lab. I didn't steal it, of course. It's for content. I'll give it back after this stream. So this is basically the Sonic Saber. I don't know how many of you have it, but we always use it for, it's a bit, sorry, the wires are a bit messy here. Need to work on this. Also need to be careful not to cut myself. Okay, so this is the Sonic Saber. And let's also, while we're at it, we can also talk about the hobby knife, right? Or X-arm knife or something like that. So I keep the set of flush cutter at my disposal for specific needs. Yeah. Flush cutters, I think it's just extremely useful. It's just good to have. It's just not just good to have. It's actually extremely useful. Maybe I can see some people not using it sometimes. I have not used it on many things other than like a huge raft I had to cut through. So okay. I think I can put it on good to have tier. Yeah. And next one is the Phrozen Sonic Saber. So the difference between these two is basically it can go through one of those like supports on the models, like very delicate areas and stuff, or the small supports that once you like tear through the supports, the smaller ones you cannot just thread it through by your finger because you will damage the surface. So you don't want to damage the surface if you want to reach the quality model like this over here, right? For example, look at this X-Men here. This is a masterwork. So how it works is either you want to cut the supports, the tiny supports, very delicately, like tick, 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 and then just remove it from the surface and try to not to damage as much as possible. So it's where this comes in. Sonic Saber, it's cuts supports like a butter. It's like a tofu. You're just cutting supports like a tofu. It's like a laser, like a Jedi. You feel like a Jedi when you cut with this guy. It's just like and then just gone. It's so amazing. So both of these tools are very useful. Believe me, even our printing guys still use the hobby knife sometimes instead of Phrozen Sonic Saber, because the issue sometimes is that the Sonic Saber can do this. They both do the same thing, but Sonic Saber, you can see the handle is quite large. So when you get into some areas to remove certain parts, sometimes it's too not flexible, right? It's too big. Because of that, that's when this baby comes in and removes it. So both tools are useful, game changer, and if you are an artist who wants the perfect quality surface, you need both of these. Well, you need this the most because it's more affordable. This is more on the pricier side, but if you can afford it, it cuts supports like a butter, and the surface has never been smoother. So just with these two, I will put the hobby knife as definitely game changer. You need to have this. And Phrozen Saber, a bit expensive. If you can have it, it's great. It's better than a hobby knife. So I'm gonna put the Sonic Saber as extremely useful. So hobby knife is a game changer. All of our printing team has it. Even if a support is on a high detail part, the hobby knife can carefully remove the supports, and then you can like carve some details out with this as well. It's very like a flexible tool. It's like the man's best friend of resin printing, like a support removal, right? Yeah. So next one, just to remove the support by pure hand. Yeah, our guys do it. We don't use hot water or we don't use any of those. We just like rip the supports off. I don't even want to categorize this. This is just very primitive. That's just how God intended man to be, like kind of level. Yeah. Hobby knife is a game changer, and Sonic Saber is extremely useful. Oh, Luther, we agreed. It's great. I didn't even see the comment. Yeah. Agree. Denser supports and smaller tips. Yeah. So the hand is just very primitive. What do you guys think? Let's just put the primitive stuff in the. I mean, there's other ways like hot water, the heat gun to remove supports. So I'm just gonna put this as just good to have because, you know, just primitive methodology. It's still, most people do it. Next one, hot water method. So this is the interesting part. Hot water support removal or the heat gun support removal. Which method do you guys use? When I say heat gun, it includes the hair dryer as well. Because hot water, you put it in a Ziploc bag or something in the model, and then you put it in dunk it in the hot water, the heat goes through, and then you remove the supports easily from there. Heat gun also does the same thing. Sorry, it doesn't do the same thing. You just blast the heat gun on the parts of the supports, and then you remove the supports much easier than just rip and tear. I'm gonna rank this to both definitely higher than the rip and tear with ARM. So it's extremely useful or game changer. So what do you guys think? Hot water versus the heat gun. Let's see what the boys say about this. I saw one guy uses crock pot to keep the water hot. Yeah. Heat gun, game changer. Okay. I use the sphere contact point so I can rip the models and not have a break under. Yeah, I agree with Carl. That's why Phrozen guys don't use heat gun or hot water, because we have the ball joint supports. But if you have a ball joint supports, that's exactly when you need the hobby knife or a sonic saber, because the ball joint, even if you remove it, there will be a little tiny thing popping up there. So you need the hobby knife to clean that thing smoothly, right? So that's why we don't use. Oh, hi, Yoel Adamas. Yeah, that's why we don't use hot water or heat gun to remove supports, because we have the ball joint one. Ballpoint supports. Yes. Under the surface, but breaking before they get to the surface, leaving the small tip still attached. Yeah. That's the ballpoint support. Yeah. But that's when you need this baby, or the sonic saber. The sonic saber's advantage is that you don't need more pressure on your finger, as this thing will need a bit more pressure to do it. And if you're not too careful, if you're slightly stronger, there's a chance the support might, because it's a ball, there is a ball in the model, right? So when you remove it, it might not just cut it, it might actually remove the ball itself, leaving with this ugly dent on the model. So if you're using this, you need to be careful. But this is a must-have, that's why it's a game changer. But the Sonic Saber is better than this. It's just the reason I put Sonic Sabers lower would be it's more pricier. This is much cheaper. Yeah. Haha, yes, Doomsayer, rip and tear off the supports. Derek, I can't tell if you're a genius or a maniac. Heat gun. I don't like prints that have not been post-cured or come into contact with water. Yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. I think you guys convinced me. Heat gun is the game changer if you're not, especially if you're not doing the ballpoint support. Hot water, better than rip and tear in my opinion, so I'll put it on extremely useful. Unless this goes here and this goes here, but I would definitely want to put the rip and tear higher than that, unless you're using ballpoint support. If it's a ballpoint support, it's just probably better to rip and tear. So, you know what, ballpoint support situation, so it's situationally useful. I'm gonna put this and it's good to have. Heat gun is a game changer because heat gun has so much uses. It helps drying. It helps remove supports easier, right? So it has two functions, similar with the hair dryer. Okay, so let's move on to our last tier, which is the surface tier. Yay, we're ready, guys. The last part is the surface tier. So this, once you remove the supports, all of them, now you want to start working on the model. So you want to start working, sanding the surface, spraying the surface, all of those good stuff, right? So let's talk about first of all, let's talk about the sanding, okay? let's talk about the sanding first, then we can talk about the fixing, and then we can talk about curing. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, first one is, let's just talk about the sanding sticks. So this is just the normal sanding sticks, sandpaper. For me, sandpaper by itself kind of does the job. The issue is it's too thin. So eventually when you're sanding it down, you need some sort of sponge behind it. So just by itself is probably just not. It's better not to use a normal sandpaper. You need either something like this. It's a sandpaper, you attach it to like a sponge stick or something, like it's called sanding stick. It kind of does that thing. So these two are very similar. The sand stick here, and then this is for miniature, like a model sanding specialty stick. I have one here right now. This is from MadWorks. We collaborate with these guys quite a bit, so you can see the beauty. It's beautiful. Every time I see these colors, it's so amazing. Yeah, never sanded it for me, yeah, but if you're working on a bigger model and stuff, I think sanding is kind of like essential, especially if you're attaching and that kind of stuff. Like if you're like combining, right, attaching models together. Sanding is necessary eventually. If you want that perfect model, sanding, I think, kind of becomes inevitable. So this one, for example, has the highest one is 320 grits, and you can see it has that sponge thing going on in here. It's quite thick. So, and the highest rate one is 3000 grits. Also, if you have a clear resin, by the way, if you want to achieve that the most clarity clear resin, these things are the how you do it basically. Yeah, the clearest of the clear resin is born through here. Wet sand, yeah. Dry or wet, both are fine. Just make sure to wear the the safety mask, because when you're sanding a model, like a cured resin dust will be around, so you need to be very careful. So wet sanding is better, yeah, Carl. So you just put some liquid water on it or something, and just on the sandpaper and wet sand it. So sanding by its tool, I think these two are very similar. One is just thinner, and one is thinner so it can go into crevices. Like you can also use a metallic one, so I think this is just extremely useful to have. Maybe even a game changer. Nah, it's not a game changer. It's just either good to have or extremely useful. I'm gonna put both of them as extremely useful. And next one is the pen sander. So there are two types of pen sanders here. I also snagged someone's pen sanders. So these are the two pen sanders. It works amazing with surfaces. Obviously, it will ruin details, so don't do it on the detail parts. So there are two types here. One is this is the Proxon one. And this can go just like front, up and down, like front and back. And this one is the ball one. You attach one of those tiny like sandpapers on it, and then it will like drill it, zzz, like that, like a dentist. It's like one way to scare your kids, so that is definitely an advantage. The kids are like, oh my God. Dad, are you trying to tell me something? Yes, son. Is it time for dentist? And he's like, oh no. So we're going to use a heat gun, best to get one. Luther does not use sand. Yeah. Look, if it's a miniature and stuff, I don't think you need to sand it in the first place. I think it just works on larger models. We have always sanded it to achieve the perfect model, like when you're attaching parts together, you know. So since you're gluing parts together, there will definitely be some crevices and that kind of stuff. If you want to fully close that off, you need a sander, right? Yeah. Derek, with that, a hairdryer would be best to do lower temp or high airspeed, no? Craig, swap the heat gun and hairdryer. Why? No, it's not that. No, 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 Luther. You put it this way. I didn't put enough pictures. The hair dryer and heat gun is like together. Imagine this is a bundle. Okay, imagine hair dryer and heat gun are a bundle. I'm just saying, putting this as a bundle. The hair dryer bundle, the bundle, both are in there, is extremely useful for drying. That's why it's extremely useful. Yeah, look, I can do this. It's the same. It has the same meaning. Yeah. And heat gun is for support removal. Well, now the heat gun is for support drying, and the hair dryer is for support removal. Look, let's go back into the origin. But all I'm saying is they're the same. They're the same. I think they're exactly the same. Yeah. Let me look. With that hair dryer, would it be to do to lower temp and high airspeed? No. Luther is like unmovable. Like he's ride or die on the hair dryer hill. He's like, I am moving from this spot, man. You can't convince me. But, you know, let's look into that, right? If you guys can look into that, that will help. So, going back into these two are game changers for better than just the paper itself. So, I'm gonna put these two on the game changer tier for sanding. But this one takes more space to sand, like bigger area, and this one can focus on the very tight crevices and that kind of stuff. So, both are amazing for professionals. And we are in our last part, which is the fixing the model. So here we have a bottle of resin to fix the crevices between models, like to fix between, if you attach two models together using a resin, and then you just cure the resin. So there's light curing putty, there's the UV clay, and then there's baking soda and super glue. So there are four of this. Yes, Luther is dying on this hill. So, I mean, heat gun does use more energy, so that's true. But if they're blowing the same amount, same like pressure, air pressure, and the cold air or something, it should be same. If the heat is the same level, it's probably same as well. No, that's what I'm thinking. So, the nerds have to look into that, man. I'm not nerdy enough to go into the depth. So, surface is the next one. Is the first one is the resin. So when you put a little bit of drop of resin and then you cure it, and then later you sand it down and then you add some details, it works. It's amazing actually. The only downside here is that when you're attaching two models, there's a chance when you're adding a little bit of resin on it, there's a chance the resin might seep seep between the two of the parts, and in the future that might crack or that guy might get messy. So it is the best way to do it, not the best way, sorry. It is the way to do it, how most people do it, but I would not put this as the game changer tier. I think I'll just put this as extremely, like just good to have. Yeah. Sadly, on really large print, sanding is needed. Yeah, you guys know Phrozen. Do it print small. Check out all of this. Like, check how large this is. I have to be really careful. Look how big this is. It's from my head to the chest, man. It's large. If you're a fan, this is one of my favorite prints. You know. And I mean, look at this Thanos one. Like, look at even this one. This one is a large one too. Like, it's this large. So as Derek said, sanding is inevitable. Like Thanos, it's inevitable. So let's just finish this off. Light curing putty and UV clay. So there are some differences. They can both fix models. They can more or less do the same thing. The light curing putty, I find it easier to close crevices. I think it can sink into more tighter spot easier. And yeah, it's a very good, it's one of those good tools. The only downside would be the color is white. grayish. So if you're gonna prime the model later, then this is the best. The advantage of resin is basically, if you use the resin to close off the model, the color will be the same. So that is an advantage. But if you're gonna paint it later, then light curing putty is definitely better. Next one is the UV clay. So UV clay is, as you can see, by the way, this is not, you cannot touch this with your bare hands. This is, it's kind of like on the resin, you know. Meanwhile, the UV clay can do the similar thing. It can do the similar thing as light curing putty. There's two advantages though. Well, one advantage of light curing putty is that you can see more, close the tighter spaces easier with this one. UV clay is larger space, or larger space is better. And maybe fixing the model is also, attaching parts with this is also better. But this one, on the other hand, you can see what I'm doing here. So you can it's skin, like skin touch safe. So you can like touch it like this. And you can close off stuff like this as well as you can mold like extra details on your model as well. Yeah, here you go. So that is the advantage of UV clay. So if you want to make an extra hat for some reason for your character, then maybe this is something you could try it. But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely like fun way to do it. Also, it's touch safe. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But for me, this feels more better on the closing the tire, the crevices. Yeah. So let's put, with that in mind, curing. I think light curing and UV putty are basically same. Are they game changer though? Do you need one of these? There are other ways to do it, but I personally believe maybe light curing putty is extremely useful and game changer for the UV clay. It's definitely one or the other. You can. It depends on your personal use. For me, the touch safe and that kind of stuff is very good. If they're all sanding your joints so they together properly, noobs. No, not all of them. Some of them, bro. Some of them. Look. There's like 4 printing people that works on multiple different projects here at the same time. So these things are like really important for us, right? And the last part is the baking soda and super glue. So what happens is you put a super glue between a model crevice and you put some baking soda on it. They say it's a good to do, but the thing is, I ask some boys at the lab, they say, if you're gonna paint on it, that's a nightmare. For detailed artists and that kind of stuff, this thing is horrid, so don't do it. So I'm gonna put the baking soda and super glue method, like maybe situationally useful. If you're not painting it or you don't care about details too much, then go for this one. Now, last one is the inside cure. So like when you're fixing a model, you need like a small curing light. What did Jake 3D what did you say? Resin drop is F. Really? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on. It's like yeah. If it's like a deeper crevice or something, yeah, it's not good. But it's useful in most situations. It's useful in most situations. There's no way that's F. Sorry. Resin plus power D. Wax S. What is resin plus power? What is resin plus power? Are we missing something? The wax is S. Yes, basically curing putty and UV clay is basically both are wax stuff, right? So what is the resin plus power, J3D Tech? You need to explain that. I don't know what resin plus power is. Powder. Oh, okay. You had me confused there for a second. Like resin plus power. Yeah. So we agreed then. So basically, okay, sure. Like C or D, right? I'll put it on D then. Yeah, for me, it's kind of like, yeah, kind of whatever tier. And last one is the UV lights. So UV lights is there's a flashlight that can like have bigger space. There's the, let's see, here you go. I have it right here. There we go. We have the Cure Beam right here. And lastly, we have, oh no, so basically I have only this one. So UV flashlight is basically, it does basically, you need, by the way, you need to put a protective eyewear, UV proof eye glasses to use that. So make sure the flashlight, they all do the same thing. Flashlight is definitely below the Cure Beam, so it's probably good to have. Or just even extremely useful, because you're trying to cure the model surface after fixing it, or your crevices. Yeah, if you're gluing the crevices together and you're adding some resin on it, you need to cure it, right? I'm gonna go for flashlight is extremely useful, or even just good to have is fine. Next one is this one, Cure Beam. Game changer, because it has two functions. Because it's long like this. You can just turn it on. You can also cure the insides of your print if you have hollow prints going on. So you can also cure insides of your print much easier with this one. And next one is it can also like just cure the surface of it. So it can do two things. The flashlight might not be able to get into the crevices, right? Like go inside the hollow model to cure it. Yeah, Cure Beam is a game changer, definitely. It's definitely something you need to have. This is a DIY light. I'm also quite a fan of this one. Some people try to DIY it. This one is not that good at doing, it doesn't have focus like Cure Beam, but it can go inside the hollow model and cure it in there as well. So I would say it's actually, yeah, good to have. I think, to be honest, the flashlight does most of the surface job, so I'm gonna put it as extremely useful. It's just, you need one of those to fully fix the model, right? And Cure Beam is just better because it can cure the inside of the model as well. Flashlight might struggle on that one, and that DIY option is good to fix the inside. So I have three, and last one is the clear spray. When you spray it, every white part on the model will just erase. It's very easy. After you sand it down, right? Once you sand down the model or here and there, there's definitely white dust or white parts there. Just, you can use a clear spray, and after you spray it, yeah, looks very solid like this. That's why, like, we don't include it in most of our videos, but it does most of the heavy lifting, yeah. So I'm gonna put this as very important. If you're painting it, you don't need it. But if you're not painting it, then this is important. Okay then, chat, before we leave, I want to take a little picture with you guys. So just type a lot of like, please spam live. Just keep spamming live. Just write live, that's it. Once you type the live, and then I see it, and then we can take a photo together. Yeah, just type live, guys, live. Yeah, I see your chat like through this because I'm not very used to this right now. More people are typing. Okay, here you go, guys. Let's switch to the just face camera and see you guys' like reaction, because this is my first time like doing this, so I'm just like looking at your comments through my phone here, like a live chat. Live. There we go. What? Okay, so in 2 weeks I'll be talking about like doing a chill live stream about combining two models together and just working on the surface using some of these tools that appear here. And we're gonna be working on the Optimus Prime. So this is more for like the newbies out there, or people who really want to get into scale modeling. I've been also like working with the team to practice a bit to teach the people. So if you guys also wanna chill and hang out for a bit, you guys can learn about this. Also, if there's more things to learn, you guys already seems to be more knowledgeable at this point. So, but if you want to join, please do. And in 2 weeks, I'll be working on the Optimus Prime. So I'll be posting some updates on the Facebook. So I wish you guys make sure to keep up with my posts on the Facebook and press like and subscribe. I can't believe I thought it comes a day I would say this word.